Support for Radio Friends comes from Columbia Healthy Smiles, the dental office of husband and wife team Dr. Batson and Dr. Abe, offering comprehensive and customized care to patients of all ages. Learn more by calling 573-721-9039 or online at www.columbiahealthysmiles.com. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, February the 22nd. I'm going to introduce you to my friend Dayna Glanz, who is with us from OsteoStrong, and you brought along CYNTHIA DeTREMPE, yes. Right? And Cynthia, let me read here. You have a degree in therapeutic recreation, holistic health, wellness, lifestyle seeker, and you were diagnosed with osteoporosis in 2016. Okay? That means that you discovered you were having bone loss in 2016. What'd you do?
So, one of the things that I'm interested in is what can I do besides just medicine?
Right.
And so, looking up alternatives to that, I discovered OsteoStrong and learned about osteogenic loading and some of these concepts. And at the same time, actually, a friend had mentioned that she was going there as well.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to give it a try.
Well, Dayna, you were driving to St. Louis, all the way to St. Louis to do your OsteoStrong moments.
Yes.
And then you decided, well, why don't I just go ahead and start one here in Columbia myself? And That's what you did. So, Cynthia, what kind of response have you had as far as your bones?
So I have a DEXA scan coming up in a couple of months, so I'll actually be able to compare with that. But the other things that I've noticed is I've had a tremendous increase in my balance. So one of the things that we do at OsteoStrong is stand on a plate that vibrates, and we do movements while we're standing on that moving plate.
And you feel that has helped you with your balance?
Very much so. Very much so. That, and also I feel like that I'm much stronger. And so I shared with Dayna, one of the things with balance is that I've gotten an e-bike and I take long bike rides, and I don't have to be quite so nervous about...
So concerned about it.
Yeah.
So you feel you ride
great.
your bike better because you're able to balance better. And when I'm looking at you as you're telling these stories, you've got that great big wide smile on your face. It's like you're very proud of what you have accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am.
That's nice. That's nice.
Tell him about your friend that you helped with the drywall.
So, so I've noticed a lot of functional changes and improvement. So a friend of ours, our neighbor, was looking actually for my husband to help him move some drywall, and he wasn't home, but I was like, I can do that.
And you moved the drywall.
And he was like, but you're so little and you're so strong. And so things like that.
That's good to hear. I appreciate you coming and sharing your story. If people want more information, Dayna, how can they contact you?
Well, they can call Trudy at the OsteoStrong studio, and
Trudy.
It's Trudy.
Okay.
And the number is 573-554-5881. But you can also Google osteostrong.me, and there's more information. There's a little video on that site that they can see kind of what we do there.
Okay. All right. So you can Google it, osteostrong.me, or you can call Trudy, and Trudy will take care of you.
Yep.
Ladies, thank you so much. Dayna, it's always a pleasure to have you, and it was a pleasure meeting you today.
Thank
All
you.
right?
You too.
All right, now we're going to talk about good nutrition. I want to introduce you to Kristen Eiffert, Missouri Academy and Nutrition and Dietetics. Good to have you here.
Thank you, Paul.
You brought along some healthy snacks, and right before you walked in, I had a piece of dark chocolate. But I had to confess to you, I thought, she comes in with all these healthy snacks, and I just had dark chocolate. But dark chocolate's good for you, too, isn't it?
It can be good for you, all in moderation. That's right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I brought in some apples and dates and some cuties just to illustrate my topic I wanted to talk about today is just eating real food.
Yeah.
And which sounds like a funny thing to talk about, but we're doing a lot of thought right now about ultra processed foods, and you may have heard that being thrown around.
Now, when you talk about what is there a difference between processed food and ultra processed food?
Absolutely. So, most of our food has some processing. When we buy pre-washed greens in the grocery store, there, some processing has been done because they're washed ahead of time for us.
That's called processing?
That's part of processing. We can, we can have all sorts of extremes, from, just very minimally processed, or we might can or freeze fresh vegetables.
Is it now, when you buy frozen vegetables or canned vegetables, are those considered processed?
They are, but and that processing is not really detrimental to their nutritional quality.
Okay, so the frozen then what are you talking about ultra processed?
So ultra processed is when we're really manipulating our food and adding to those foods things like ingredients that we wouldn't find commonly in our household. So, stabilizers and artificial sweeteners and artificial colors and preservatives and things like that, stabilizers, gums, that change the product to be really shelf stable, oftentimes highly palatable. We term some of these ultra processed foods as highly palatable, and the interesting thing is that studies recently have shown that about 60% of American adult food intake is from ultra processed foods. So, we're talking.
Are the ultra processed foods? They still have the nutrition, though, correct?
They do have, yes, there are nutritional components of them, absolutely.
But it's just the fact that they're so processed, you've got other ingredients in there.
There are. And so an interesting study came out several years ago looking at individuals who ate and they put these, it was highly controlled in terms of the foods that these individuals were given. They were given randomized either a ultra-processed diet for 2 weeks or an minimally processed diet for 2 weeks. And so the minimally processed were things that were pretty much made from scratch. They let them eat as much as they wanted to, and those that were on the ultra-processed foods ate 500 calories more per day than those that had the minimally processed, and they were matched for the amount of protein, fiber, fat.
But the processed had more. We're almost out of time. Is bacon a processed food?
Absolutely, yes.
Bacon is?
Absolutely, yes. Highly processed, yes. So
I thought it was just smoked and cured, and that was it.
Well, that's part of the processing. So yes.
Okay.
So
if you eat smoked ham, that is processed also.
Correct.
Okay. So you just kind of opened up a whole can of worms for me there. If you want more information on it, you can go to the website. It's
eatright.org.
Eatright.org, and there's all kinds of information on there.
There is.
But you can have everything you want as long as it's in moderation.
Correct.
Got it? We're out of time. PepperPMissouri.edu. Bye-bye.